Let's talk clarity. Let's talk clarity. Let's talk clarity. Post-traumatic growing is beyond a strategy, but this is not a sentiment. Let's talk clarity about that. What I understand, post-traumatic stress, but what about post-traumatic growing? That is a growth that isn't soft. It isn't inspirational. And it's definitely isn't about relieving pain. It's about what pressure produces. When it meets discipline instead of collapsing, some people hear the word growth and think therapy, and they get scared. Others think motivation, and I think systems. Because growth that doesn't translate into stability, revenue, leadership, community impact is just noise. Understand me. And most people aren't resistant to growth. They're resistant to losing control of how they already operate. That distinction matters. It matters. See, personal alchemy is not for free. People are not going to teach that to you. So I don't fight my past. I don't fight anyone. I just use it. Every challenge I faced became data. Every disruption became discernment. Every pressure point taught me leverage. And you and anyone, that's alchemy. You're an alchemist. Not mystical, not dramatic, but efficient. People who survive chaos often mistake intensity for power. And people who grow from chaos learn to transmit it into skill. You see, I didn't become stronger by pretending things didn't affect me. I can't do that. That's a sellout to my soul. I became stronger because my learning how my mind, my nervous system, and decisions actually work under pressure, especially if someone misdiagnose you. That's self-help. That's operational intelligence. That's beyond just faith. Resilience without performance. Let me say it again. Let me tell you how that worked for me. I don't glorify hustle. I don't glorify burnout. I don't glorify emotional exposure as leadership. I really don't want to do that. What I really believe in is architecture. I architect my days. I architect my energy. I architect my responses. And why do I do that? Why do I talk like that? Because resilient isn't how loud I am, how loud you are when things go wrong. It's how little disruptions your system shows when pressure hits. People who call this boring usually confuse chaos with purpose. But boring systems run companies, okay? Run families, run their lives. Boring routines stabilize families. Boring regulation prevents expensive mistakes, saving lives. Stability isn't boring when you understand scale. We have wellness, money, and then reality. It's all together. Let's be honest with ourselves. Mental clarity affects financial clarity, emotional regulation, It affects operational consistency. Spiritual grounding affects long-term vision. And that's not philosophy. That causes an effect. Fragmented people build fragmented systems. Burnt out leaders create burnt out teams. Unregulated environment leaks, bleed money. And I don't separate wellness from business, because the body is the first operating system any leader runs. When people say that's too much, what they often mean is, I haven't learned how to manage myself without force. And force is expensive. It's expensive. Community revitalization. Ooh. Communities don't need saving. They need solutions that fit. They need solutions that fit the actual reality. Revitalization fails when it imposes. It succeeds when it's co-created. The strongest teams I've seen share 3 things: psychological safety, people can speak without punishment; autonomy, control over how energy is spent; shared purpose, not slogans, but lived alignment. So in 2026 and beyond, the shift isn't perks, it's wellness, ecosystems, systems that regulate stress before it becomes a conflict, prevention, structures that reduce burnout before it becomes turnover, rituals that build trust without forced vulnerability. That's how rare teams are formed, not by charisma, but by conditions. So let me say it like this. Let me think how I'm gonna put this. I don't try to change people. That's not my job. I let results speak. If someone doesn't support me, I don't internalize that. I log it as data. Resistance show me where fear is disguised as authority, where outdated systems are being protected, where growth is delayed and not denied. I treat doubt as shadow work. Shadow work information, not an insult, because people who are secure don't need to dominate environments. They refine themselves and let alignment do the rest. And I've learned this. You never need consensus to build something that works. You only need clarity and consistency. Consistency and clarity. Clarity and consistency. So I don't ask people to change. I stand as evidence of what happens when wellness is operational, leadership is regulated, growth is embodied, not advertised. Because I know what it feels like. I know what it does to the mind. If that resonates, collaboration is easy. And if it doesn't, there's no conflict required. Alignment isn't emotional, it's practical. It's practical, y'all. And clarity doesn't chase attention. How am I do that? It filters for fit. Let's talk clarity. 20 to 26 is just a number. But when you do that 11 breath to your emotional self, late at night, early in the morning, whenever you're sitting in your car, instead of doing things that don't even serve you, and it definitely doesn't serve anybody else if nobody's caring, if nobody's listening, all wrapped up and I'm busy and stuck where I basically have to be because I don't trust nobody. I don't want to do that. I have to do that. Whatever it is. It's time to make a difference. And it starts within first. And each one, reach one. Each one, reach one. It used to be a saying like each one teach one. But nobody even want to show up as a student hardly. They want to worry about how much it's going to cost and don't even realize their whole architect is cheap. Because they worried about what master's degree, what hospital I work in, how many people I've cured. Well, it starts with myself. It starts with the team that didn't believe, that didn't even believe. And gradually, they had to learn too. So, you have a wonderful, wonderful week. And the next Let's Talk Clarity will be introduced as something else, something different, something rare. Have a wonderful day.